This is Trixie at the exclusive Truth Seekers UFO desk. And I like nothing more than getting down on my knees and praising the cash. Every time you donate, I'm gonna get down on my knees and praise the cash. Praise the cash. Thank you for your generosity. This is Trixie from Truthseekers, thanking you for your generosity. I'm gonna praise the cash so hard, your co-creative consciousness is gonna explode all over the cosmos.
Greetings and salutations and welcome back, friends. We have quite a show for you tonight. Some of you may remember that we have covered this subject more extensively than anyone else in conspiracy land, and that would be the medbed scams going around. For those unaware, a medbed is a magical device formerly only available in things like science fiction shows. You may have seen a medbed featured in things like Stargate, SG-1, The Fifth Element, the Prometheus movie, and many, many more. It's a magical device, and no matter what is ailing you, terminal, chronic illnesses, anything, you just lay on this medbed. Usually it's some sort of metal device with a bed inside of it and a glass canopy that goes over you. And this magical device somehow is able to heal you of literally anything that ails you. Got chronic cancer? Medbed session. Dying of testicular cancer? Medbed session. Old age? Medbed session. Regenerative healing, and you can get age regressed. So even if you're just simply dying of old age, this is something that can be used to prevent death, according to some people. Some time ago, there existed a, I don't know if you would call it a trend. Yes, I think it was a trend to just put the word quantum in front of anything. The New Agers would put the word quantum in front of everything, like quantum intuitive healing. What does that even mean? These people have no idea what the word quantum means. But for a while now, it's been a trend that you simply put the word quantum in front of something, and that somehow legitimizes it as real and not fictitious or, science fiction. And so some time ago, many people began offering medbed sessions, most specifically, and we've covered her here before. By the way, tonight's show has reminded me that I have some channel, what would you call that? Housework or things to do. We have previously covered Sarah R. Adams, who, through her website, was offering medbed sessions, but it would turn out that it was not a real medbed. There was no medbed. And down all the way in the fine print of the copy of the ad selling medbed sessions, where they promised you that you would go up through a Stargate, into a spaceship, meet the aliens, lay on a medbed. In the fine print way at the bottom of the buy me now thing on her website was a little disclaimer that it was just a Zoom session, a Zoom call. So there was no med bed, period. There was no Stargate, period. But we're talking about Sarah R. Adams, the nutter who claims that she has all kinds of superpowers. We've talked about her before. She's like an Omega level mutant, if you're into comic books, right? The Marvel, the Omega level mutant, the one that has all kinds of godlike superpowers, like Jean Grey, when she's in Phoenix form, is an Omega level mutant. Sarah R. Adams claims to be able to open stargates, talk to angels, talk to aliens, travel through black holes, heal people of illnesses, but now she's backing off of all of those claims for legal reasons, of course. But we're going to cite fair use. I'm going to put my fair use banner up here. And in full disclosure, I was mentioning the housework that I needed to deal with. Sarah R. Adams has one time, I still have the letter here from her fake lawyer, a fake lawyer. Well, I don't even know what you would call him. A lawyer not licensed to practice law or admitted to the bar to practice law in the state that he lived in, New Mexico. A man claiming to be a lawyer sent me what I call an angry lawyer letter, and we get them here. It's an angry lawyer that says, how dare you slander my client, this and that, and we're going to take legal action. And some time ago, when we received legal threats, we obviously take them seriously, whether it's a nutter, fake lawyer or not. In this case, all I was able to tell about that lawyer was that he was not admitted to practice law in the state that he lived in. So I called him and asked him what state he was legally able to practice law in. And he got very angry with me, and he would not answer any of my questions. And then he promptly hung up on me. So I filed the letter in my circular file here. You know what that is, the waste paper basket. But then I thought better of it and thought I better save that just in case. So it's over here in a filing cabinet, along with all the other empty threats from idiot lawyers that aren't really lawyers. We get them. This guy, near as I can tell, he had a legal degree. He had a law degree. That's true. But I don't believe that he was able to actually practice law in his state. I could be wrong. He wouldn't answer my questions. So at that time, we took these Sarah R. Adams shows off of our YouTube channel until we determined if there was a real legal threat here, if this was just yet another person threatening us to try to stomp all over our free speech, to try to shut us up about the scams that they run. And I will say it, we've been very careful to use words like allegedly and apparently. In Sarah R. Adams' case, this medbed thing that she was selling on her website, I will say it, it's a scam. You're telling people that you're going to take them up through a Stargate, into a spaceship, into a medbed to meet the aliens, none of which exists, and it's just a Zoom call. I think that Miss Sarah R. Adams thought better after our coverage, because I'm still trying to determine from her website, but it appears as if she's taken the medbed sessions post our coverage on this medbed scam. She took that off of her website, near as I can tell, but we're going to look through it right now live on air just to be sure. This is her public website. This is bookings. And you too can see some topics that can be covered in an hour: soul guidance, chakra, aura, channel, meridian balancing, channel messages from spirit guides, angels, archangels, and ascendant masters, past life releases, genetic repatterning. What the hell is genetic repatterning? That's not real, Sarah R. Adams. That's not real. There's no such thing as genetic repatterning. What the hell is that? She's going to somehow talk to you about your addictions. Remember, she sells herself as an intuitive psychic healer. And here she lists things like addictions. She's not licensed to treat that. Anxiety, depression, she's not licensed to treat those things. Let's see. Emotional blockages, soul fragments, vibration remedies. What the hell is a vibration remedy? Who knows? I think they just make this stuff up. But she used to offer these medbed sessions, and they were through Sarah R. Adams, near as we can tell, was the marketing person. She was the person that would send the people who wanted the medbed sessions to the practitioners of this, a couple in Australia called Pete and Roxy, and we're going to get into them tonight because their newest medbed thing, it's amazing that they're able to legally do this. I should also point out that earlier today I reached out to Australian police and authorities. I sent multiple emails to multiple people involved with law enforcement in this Pete and Roxy's home jurisdiction. I asked them to look at the website and explain to me how any of what they're offering people is not consumer fraud. I asked them to look at their website and explain to me how any of this is legal. And so far, at the time of this broadcast, not one person from the Australian authorities has yet returned my emails. But I will follow up with them because I want answers from them. So we can see in her shop here that she sells something called DeSpark, which, if you ask me, it is snake oil. Let's see if we can get a DeSpark restores your spark and your chi energy. That's a problem. There is no scientific evidence that anything can restore your chi energy because there's no scientific evidence that chi energy is a real thing or reality. She says it's an alchemical aura charging mineral formula that I call meditation in a bottle. If you fly long flights like me or you need energy, simply just want to bring your frequency up, then DeSpark is the perfect product for you. And, this is where this stuff goes to, where I just go, how the hell are you legally able to make these claims? Look at these claims. This is shit she sells. This snake oil garbage that she sells. It's meditation, Zen in a bottle, right? It can restore your spark and chi energy. Can she prove any of these claims scientifically? I don't understand it. The research material presented on this proves that nature has an additional energy force, which is attracted to separated electrical charges. This is not science. This is new age garbage. And I would love to know what you get in a bottle for $67. Divine Quantum. Remember I mentioned just slap quantum. Just slap quantum in front of it or on it. And then it legitimizes it. It's not just snake oil. This is divine quantum snake oil. By the way, we'll be reaching out to authorities in the jurisdiction that Sarah R. Adams lives and asking them how she's legally able to make these claims and sell this product. But near as we can tell, the once bookings, she used to have the med beds included on her website. Since our previous coverage on the med beds, she removed it from her website. You may also remember that we did a separate show where Miss Sarah R. Adams paid a artist, a new age artist by the name of Arcturus Ra. She paid him to create what I believe is a fake med bed, because it turned out that her med bed that she was going to create an office for and charge people to lay in Sedona, Arizona, it turns out that med bed, the thing she was calling a med bed, was actually a tanning bed with magnets glued in it. And she made all kinds of fantastical claims about what it could do for people and was going to be charging, as best I recall, several $100s per session in the fake sun tanning bed with magnets glued in it that she called a med bed. So, and by the way, I believe that she made those she got an artist to create a quote real med bed, because my big attack on her was that she was lying to people and there was no med bed. She's selling med bed sessions and there was no physical med bed, which to me is fraud. So then she creates a quote real med bed, and again, quantum holographic healing bed. That's what they called it, a quantum holographic med bed. And we did a previous show on that, which is quite honestly right now absent from our website, but we're going to be putting all our previous coverage of Sarah R. Adams back on our YouTube channel. And if she wants to go ahead with frivolous legal threats, I will be countering with my own. And we will be contacting the local authorities to ask about all of her business practices, because I don't understand how she's legally able to sell this shit. How many people bought the first med bed where you go through a Stargate up to a galactic council, I don't know, to a spaceship, and then she admits it's just a Zoom call? How many people paid for that? Was that legal, those transactions? Can you legally tell people that they're going to go through a Stargate up to a spaceship and then just give them a Zoom call and keep their money? I don't know. This is a pretty gray area. I want somebody from the local authorities in the jurisdictions where these people selling this garbage live to explain to me how any of this shit is legal. All right, so we've established, we've told you some history about these medbed scams and how Sarah R. Adams has been heavily involved in these. And with tonight's stars of tonight's show, which is Pete and Roxy, a couple from Australia that sell all kinds of ridiculous things, including medbed sessions for medbeds that don't exist. And they're the ones that came up with this ad copy telling people that you go up through a Stargate, into a spaceship, meet the Octurians or the Pleiadians. I can't recall, but we'll drill down on this. And you get in a med bed, and that cures everything. Cures everything. Great. So we're going to get to tonight's main topic, which is galactic. Oh, I love this. Galactic Healer Awakening Education. Oh boy, this is a good one, friends. The sad part about this situation is that these two people have young children. And as a father myself, it bothers me that this is what they're doing for money. I'm not going to comment further on that, but one may, I don't even know what to say, but the fact that these people are parents is troubling to me. They have, two young children that they may be exposing to this garbage peddling that they do. So we're going to cite fair use, but again, this is a public website. This is Pete and Roxy's Awakening Education site, and there's quite a video making all kinds of fantastical promises. And again, for those just joining us, we did reach out to Australian authorities where they live, asking for some comment or clarification about the products that they are selling and how on God's green earth can any of this be legal. And again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a prosecutor, so I just don't know how this is legal. I'm asking for an expert to look at this and tell me. So here, the world's first galactic training, ET and quantum field medbed technology training. And I would just, my first question is, how can you offer training in ET and quantum field medbed technology when there is no proof that such a technology even exists in the real world? But they, for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, friends, are going to help you become a certified galactic healer using medbeds in 2023. It's great. It's great. Okay. So this is what you will learn, friends. You're going to learn to access the Galactic Federation starship remotely from this dimension. We teach you how to get your mind into the gamma brain state to remote view your light body, soul, and consciousness to the fifth dimension, to the starship. I mean, to me, they're promising you that you're going to learn how to access the Galactic Federation starship, right? And I'm sure that since they're selling people a course in how to do this and in charging people money, they can show me them. They can demonstrate for us, right? That they have some superhuman ability somehow. They have superpowers. Everybody knows how I feel. When these people start telling everybody they have superpowers, I lose my shit. I just can't take these people running around telling everybody. Why does everybody have superpowers? By the way, I heard a certain goof has magic powers now. He's got magic powers. Great. Okay. So, also what they're going to teach you in this course is how to use off-planet plasma and medbed technology to help yourself, others elevate into higher states of consciousness and frequency. This is problematic too, because they have to be able to prove that off-planet plasma and medbed technology exists, because they're telling you that that's what you're going to learn in this course. But this is very problematic, because so far they have to prove that they can access the Galactic Federation starship and that they can use off-planet plasma and medbed technology. I think you have to be able to prove what you're writing when you're selling people stuff. That's just me. I don't know. How to talk with ETs and talk telepathically with them and learn all about galactic history and why Earth is going to be the new galactic epicenter of the universe. Okay, so now they have to be able to prove that they can teach people how to connect with ETs and talk telepathically. Again, there is no scientific evidence or proof that telepathic communication is even possible, let alone a reality. So again, they're offering something that they can't prove is real for money. Great. You're going to learn all things healing, including how to neutralize false limiting beliefs. Great. And here's where it gets problematic again. They're going to teach you how to activate DNA strands for ascension and learn how to read DNA to help you and your clients. Friends, there is no way on God's green earth that they can prove that they can somehow read DNA and help their clients. They can't prove that they can do that. And what the hell does this mean? Activate DNA strands for ascension? How do you prove that you can do that? Or are you just taking people's money in some kind of scam here? This looks like a scam to me, right? Oh, and you're also going to learn how to tap into the Akashic records. And for those unaware, the Akashic records are some new age philosophy that somewhere there's a record of all known knowledge, and you know, psychic people and intuitives and very, very gifted people can somehow access the Akashic records and learn all the secrets of the universe. But it is a new age concept. It's never been proven that Akashic records actually exist. So again, they have to be able to prove that they can teach people how to tap into Akashic records. So they should be able to demonstrate them tapping into the Akashic records, right? And since the Akashic records contained all known, knowledge, or not known or unknown knowledge of all the secrets of the universe, then they can get us a few things to demonstrate that they have the ability to tap into that, right? Like a cure for cancer, a cure for autism and Alzheimer's disease, a cure for diabetes, a cure for leukemia, right? You don't want to be selfish here. If you can tap into those Akashic records and learn all the secrets of the universe, then go do it and bring us back some proof that you're tapping into the Akashic records, right? And do something altruistic with these so-called superpowers of yours and bring us something for humanity, something humanity can use, like cures for chronic diseases, right? Or is this made up garbage? I believe this is made up garbage. Look at these promises. So we're going to review. For your money, you're going to be able to access the Galactic Federation starship. You're going to learn how to use planet plasma and medbed technology, a technology that no one can demonstrate actually exists. They're going to teach you how to use a technology that no one can actually prove exists. Show me a medbed, Pete and Roxy. You can't, right? They're going to teach you how to connect with ETs and talk telepathically. They're going to teach you to learn all things healing, including how to neutralize false limiting beliefs and subconscious programs and density held in organs, energy sensors, energy centers. What does that even mean? Density held in organs and energy centers. Learn how to unlock blocks for clients and help them elevate. And this one I love, how to activate DNA strands for ascension and how to read DNA to help you and your clients. I'm sorry, but without technology, nobody can read DNA. Period. Period. This is fantasy land garbage. And of course, how to tap into the Akashic records, which we've talked about. So let me do something here. We're going to make sure we do have our fair use banner up, and I am going to cite fair use. We're playing we're going to play the video. We're going to get the sales pitch of the med beds, right? We're going to get the sales pitch and see med bed training, galactic training, awakening education. Oh, let me do that one more time. The stupid include audio button. All right, here we go. Now, remember, this is a public, I'm citing fair use. This is a transformative work. We're educating the public about what I believe to be new age gobbledygook garbage peddling. But this is from their public website. So anybody can go to their website, awakening.education. Or I'll get you I'll put the homepage. 1 second. I'm going to put the homepage into it's awakening.education is their website. So we'll put that into the live chat here. 1 second. Now I'm getting, let me get rid of a few things here. That's weird. All right, now I got it. All right, friends, let's see what they have to say about this fantastic. Look, we're all going to get to learn how to have superpowers, right? We're all going to get to learn how to get superpowers. We're all going to learn how to access extraterrestrials telepathically, the Akashic records. We're going to learn how to activate DNA strands. We're going to learn how to communicate telepathically with ETs and use quantum plasma off-planet medbed technology. Great.
Hey, we are Pete and Roxy from Awakening Education. Thank you for clicking and coming to learn more about quantum field medbed technology. We are a married couple from Australia, down under, and we are connecting with a Galactic Federation ship. We had our awakening and...
Okay, right here is a problem. It's a big problem. She just said that they are connecting with the Galactic Federation spaceship. And they are offering to teach other people how to connect with the Galactic Federation spaceship. And that's a problem, because don't you think that it would be reasonable to say that if they're going to take money from people to teach them how to access a Galactic Federation spaceship, that they can first demonstrate that that spaceship is real? I would think so. That's why I don't think any of what these people are doing is legal. You know, what if I told you that I have a galactic lawnmower and I'm going to just mentally access a Galactic Federation lawnmower and cut your grass? And then I take your $50 to cut your grass with my Galactic Federation lawnmower, and I keep your money. I take your $50 and I keep your money, but I tell you, don't worry, I'm going to telepathically communicate with my Galactic Federation lawnmower and cut your grass. And the next day, after I'm supposedly have cut your grass with my Galactic Federation lawnmower, you notice that the grass didn't change. And you call me and you say, well, you know, what's going on? You didn't cut the grass. So, I did it telepathically, though. I did it in astral, though. You know, that's not legal. You can't do this. So they're saying that they're in contact with the Galactic Federation spaceship. Great. Show us the spaceship, Pete and Roxy. What the hell are you doing? You are parents with children. Is this what you teach your children? Here's how you make a living. You lie to people and tell them that you have access to a Galactic Federation spaceship and then charge all kinds of people. And by the way, this medbed scam is particularly troubling because who does this appeal to? This offering of medbed technology. This certainly appeals to people who are sick. So you mean to tell me that these new age grifters are taking money from sick, possibly chronically ill people, from sick, possibly terminally ill people, and telling them that they have access to a spaceship and off-planet plasma quantum medbed technology? If it looks like a scam, if it sounds like a scam, if it seems like a scam, maybe it's a scam. And you know, I just start losing my mind when I see things like this, because don't these people have a conscience, right? You're going to take money from sick people for this garbage that you're selling? How is that helping people? Right? And it's always this, oh, we're light workers. We're light side, you know, we have the help of light side workers, and we're helping the unit. You're not helping anybody but your own bank account, scamming people out of money for garbage information. 1 second here. All right, Eric wants to all right, we have somebody, but we're gonna let me finish the video. Let's get through the video.
And it's just been supercharged. We are connecting with the ship and quantum field medbed technology, which is super exciting. We are connecting.
Yeah, here we go right now. We are connecting with the ship and the quantum field technology. Then you can show us a spaceship, right? You could show us the quantum medbed technology, right? I'm going to get an invitation because we have a special guest that's going to be joining us that was very close to one of the people involved in some of these medbed things, and that would be Eric, the Awakening Man. Let me get him in here for us, and let's continue in our journey. Remember, we're only seconds into this video, and already they've made fantastical claims like they have access to a Galactic Federation spaceship. Now they have access to quantum medbed technology. And remember, they're marketing this to sick people. Don't those people have enough to worry about than getting scammed by some slimy new age scam artists selling fake cures, selling false hope?
In with the Palladians and Octarian and, of course, the Divine.
Yeah, so they're in contact with 2 different alien species. Great. So you can prove that, right? You are selling something and telling people that you're in contact with 2 separate alien species. You can prove to us that you really are in contact with those 2 separate alien species, right? As you're taking money from people.
And we are here to help you learn this modality as well.
What we've found through working with hundreds of clients is that the awakened souls are finding us. If you've ever had that.
So what's that eye thing called? Look at this guy's eyes, man. Either he power smoked like, you know, 3 bongs at once right before doing this, or something's going on with this guy's eyes.
Within you that there is some sort of calling. If you know within yourself that you'd much prefer to be moving from service to self into a service to others type.
Oh, where did we hear that before? These 2 are stealing material from Corey Good and David Wilcock. And the law of one.
Paradigm type life in your day-to-day, then this could be an opportunity for you to learn how to offer medbed energetic healing sessions to your friends, your relatives, and then eventually take on clients.
How can they teach people to offer energetic medbed sessions to people, to other people, when they can't demonstrate for us that any of this is reality? I want to see the medbed. I want to see the spaceship that you're in contact with. I want to see the 2 races of goddamn aliens that you're claiming to be in contact with.
And help people. Remember, guys, this is the time of the Great Awakening. And those of us that are called, right, the light workers, the way showers, we are like the rising tide that is lifting all of the boats. So
yeah, they're light workers as they're selling sick people this garbage. You two are evil as hell. You two are evil, and you deserve to be prosecuted for this. You're selling this garbage to sick people, or you're going to help teach people this scam so that they can take it to other sick people and scam sick people. But you're a light worker, right? Sure you are.
So this rising tide is what we can help to implement into the planet, that ripple effect, you know, through the work that all of us do together. So we really look forward to connecting and teaching you more in the program, and let's go into it in a little bit more detail, Rox.
Yeah, that's right. So we're meeting for 5 weeks, and we do 10 sessions in that 5 week. It's a program where you get Pete and I, and we teach you everything that we know about connecting in with your heart portal, and then connecting in with the quantum field, going through a stargate into the Galactic Federation ship.
Here we go. So she's going to teach you how to go into a Galactic Federation ship. And again, I don't think any of this is legal unless you can prove that that Galactic Federation ship actually exists. Or is this just in your imagination? This is total garbage. And why are they allowed to have a public website selling this garbage to people? Now they're going to teach other people to scam people with this scam? That's what it is. They have been offering this, claiming they're going to take people through a Stargate, up to a spaceship, to meet the aliens, to go on a bed, and none of it's real, but that wasn't enough. And these people are greedy because they got away with that for a long, long time now. But that wasn't enough. Now they're going to teach other people how to run what I believe is a scam on other sick people. Great.
So we're greeted there by the guides, the Palladians and Octarians. We've also got some other high frequency beings that come in. The archangels as well sometimes are present.
Great. So you're not only going to meet multiple species of aliens, you're going to meet the gods and the angels too. And they can prove all of this, right? I can't wait to see the videotape.
And we are teaching you how to communicate with them. We also teach you how to bring someone up to the ship using this technique and putting them in the med bed for elevation of consciousness, for elevating their soul, their self.
Yeah. So again, she's promising that they're going to teach you how to bring somebody up to a spaceship that does not exist. And look at this dude, man. Talk about cultic. Look at this dude smiling with these, oh my gosh, geez.
Cells, their organs, and clearing out the emotional trauma within their being. We all have
They are neither qualified nor licensed to treat emotional trauma. But here they are selling that they can help people with emotional trauma. That's the job of a psychiatrist, psychologist, counselor, a licensed medical practitioner, not a new age nutter.
Emotions, that's the way we elevate. To elevate and ascend, we have to drop the density, and that's how we get into 5D consciousness.
So if you're the sort of person who's sitting there thinking you don't know if you're ready yet, you know that feeling? It's like, it sounds all right, but I don't know if I'm ready yet. Look, for many, many years, around 13 years, I worked with my father teaching people how to get their brain into the alpha and theta states. And and
by the way, in full disclosure, this guy used to teach a course that is somewhat similar to my mind hack course, but there is actual scientific evidence and proof that there are ways that you can get into different brain states. This is, and that, in my opinion, is okay to teach people how to meditate or get into different brain states. But this, promising people a spaceship and med beds and all this other stuff is just way too far. way too far.
We implemented these proven methods on getting your brain to actually be able to connect to the quantum field more effectively. Roxy and I, through help,
there's no scientific evidence that your brain can connect to the quantum field. It hasn't been proven. It's theoretical at best.
The galactic consciousness, we're able to then help people access gamma. That feeling that you might have had before where you're really connected to source. You know, that feeling of bliss where you just feel your heart open and it's like your soul longing to go home and to connect. So we're helping you actually get into this gamma state so that you can tune into the quantum field with your client and give them this amazing medbed healing experience.
Again, there's no medbed. The medbeds don't exist. They can't show you a medbed. They can't show you a spaceship. They can't show you angels, and they can't show you aliens. So how are they able to have a public-facing website selling people this garbage?
I also add you to a Galactic Ambassadors group.
Oh wow! We're gonna be Galactic Ambassadors. All we need to do to be Galactic Ambassadors is send these two clowns a whole bunch of money.
Light Warrior group. It's a very close circle where we get to share all things ETs, galactic, UFO, all those out there things. So you have a safe container with like-minded souls, you know, cheering you on the sidelines.
In other words, an echo chamber.
And we're often in that group sharing our profound information as well.
The idea is to have a community, you know, like the sort of community you may be looking for, where you can really talk about what you want to talk about, you know, the real stuff. So we're sharing all of those concepts as well as looking at exploring our multi-dimensional self as a soul, as a light being, as a spark of the divine, and how to implement this into our day-to-day life.
So if you're interested, click the link below, and we require a deposit to book your seat.
Oh, you need a deposit.
Classes.
Oh, you need a deposit. You gotta have a deposit. If you're gonna teach people, if you want to learn how to access a galactic stargate and a spaceship and all this nonsense, you need a deposit.
Through the year, and the next one is coming up really soon. So we'll email you all the start dates and the details, and we're just so excited to connect with you, have you on this journey, included in the Galactic Ambassadors group with other like-minded warriors, and really start to fulfill our mission. We came to Earth for this mission, to raise the consciousness, to raise the vibration, and we must band together in unity and love for this mission. So we hope to see you soon.
Cannot believe it. All right, joining us to discuss this is somebody I would consider somewhat of an expert on these med beds, and he has been close to some of these people selling these so-called med bed sessions, and we've had him here before. We welcome Eric, the Awakening Man.
Stephen, I just, you know, I don't call in unless I get really fired up, but those are two of the most high-end galactic whores I've ever seen.
I agree. Galactic whores. That's a good way to put it. But don't you think that this is really too far? Because they're marketing this to sick people. Sick people.
It's ridiculous. I mean, this is, okay, it's like David Wilcock and Beth, you know, times two.
It's worse than David Wilcock. That's how bad this is.
Times two. It's worse. Way worse.
Worse than David Wilcock's offerings. Yeah.
It's disgusting. And you know what's weird is you look at these people with their beautiful smiles and and you're telling me they got kids? Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. How disgusting. It's totally disgusting. Listen,
and they use their children in their marketing material. I'm going to share it with you and show you. So
I think that you should continue to go after these people. By the way, so don't let up on these assholes.
Well, we did reach out to Australian authorities and haven't heard back. I want an Australian prosecutor or district attorney or somebody, police chief, where they live, to explain to me how this is at all legal. What they're doing.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that they could do this and get away with it. It's just that they haven't been, they're not on, they're flying under the radar, I would assume, right?
They're probably still they're kind of new to the game to a degree. until people start complaining, they're going to be. I mean, the person you were talking about earlier, Sarah, and how she was able to do whatever it was she was doing for the longest time, and
Yeah, they were selling these med bed sessions, but they just all I still have a screenshot of it somewhere. I'll have to dig it out. But the med bed sessions they were selling, they had like a disclaimer at the bottom that said this is a Zoom call. After the whole pitch, where we're going to take you through a Stargate, you're going to go up to a spaceship, you're going to get in a med bed, you're going to meet the angels and the ETs, all the way at the bottom of the pitch is this is a Zoom call. So there is no physical anything. This is not a physical real experience that they're selling. It's them trying to hypnotize you on a phone call and convince you that you're having some mystical experience that I don't believe you are.
You got to give them this, so they're really good at pitching this stuff. I mean, they're gonna hook a lot of idiots with this stuff. I can tell you already. They're really good at it.
I agree. This is they are very good pitch people.
Yeah.
And for a while, I believe that they had not just Sarah R. Adams, but they got a whole bunch of new agey people to put their medbed sessions on their website. And to the best of my understanding, the person who sold the session would get a little bit of the money, but then they would keep the rest. In other words, they had all kinds of new age nutters helping them sell the service, and then they would perform the service and kick back some of the money. So this is not just soul scammers here. This is a conspiracy of many people working together to sell this scam.
They all co-sign each other's bullshit, and that's how it gains momentum. And you know what? I'm going to sue them for using my name, Awakening. That pisses me off.
You got that? Yeah, you got to get a trademark, Eric.
Either way, man, how dare they say that this is Awakening? The only thing they're awakening is their freaking pocketbooks.
Yeah,
and seriously, this is bullshit. This is total bullshit. I'm sorry. I don't buy any of this.
I don't know how it's legal for them to promise you that you're going to go through a Stargate, into a spaceship, meet aliens, meet angels, and take money from people for that. Like, I think that if any, even let's say we got a hold of any authority that is sort of new agey, even a crystal hippie bitch that's in law enforcement or in the government would look at this and say, this is too far. This is too much of a scam. You can't do this,
Yeah, we need to have somebody in Australia, which I do have a follower in Australia that could sign up for this and then complain about it, because damn well none of them. I
hear it's very, very pricey. You have to sign. They don't tell you what it costs. You have to give them your email address, which I haven't done yet, but I will. And then we'll see how. I think it's probably $1,000 this course, 5-week course. I'm thinking 1,000, maybe more.
Yeah. Before you know it, they'll be co-signed. They'll be hooking up. David Wilcock's going to contact these people, and he's going to provide these spaceships that he promised us 2 years ago or whenever, and that'll take these people on the galactic journey, to the medbed on Mars or whatever. That's going to happen eventually.
Yeah, and I have another thing to share with you, and that is to show you Sarah R. Adams' latest offering, a 1-hour phone session with her. This is a discount session, is $188 until the end of November. The regular price is $250.
Yep. Well, I got a backstory on that, which I don't know if you know. You probably don't. So Arcturus Ra, who you mentioned earlier, and Sarah had a falling out. I don't know if you're aware of that.
No, I didn't know. So this is after. So just to be clear, so everybody understands. This is my belief, Eric. I was hammering Sarah R. Adams for selling these medbed sessions for medbeds that don't exist. And then somebody that knows her said to me that she got so pissed off at me that she hired an artist to create a real medbed so that I could no longer say that the medbed doesn't exist. Then she hires this Arcturus Ra character. He's quite a character himself, to create a real physical medbed. He gets a tanning booth and glues a bunch of magnets in it and paints it and calls it a medbed.
Okay, let me just cut you off. She didn't hire shit. Arcturus Ra, he should have him on the show, actually. He'd actually come on your show. You need to hear the whole story. I'll
Get
get
him.
him on your show, and I'll tell you what. Here's what happened. He was building this thing, and you're right. It was the frame of a tanning bed. Now he's got it built, and he said I could come and check it out. I was in Sedona about 2 weeks ago. He said I could come and check it out and use it, but he got pissed off because Sarah was booking appointments for this thing before it was even finished, and trying to sell appointments on this med bed before it was even finished. And then she was trying to make a little side deal, and Raw didn't want to have anything to do with it. So then they had an argument and a falling out and so on and so forth. And so then she moved out of Sedona after that.
Interesting. Yes, and there's rumors that she was, quote, run out of Sedona, unquote. I don't know what that means, but that's what people are saying.
She was behaving badly, according to many of the locals there, but I wasn't there to witness it, so I can't say for sure what happened. But another thing, I don't know if you're aware of this, a friend of mine who lives in Vegas recently to some doctor, someone, I guess this is a legitimate doctor of some sort. I don't know if he's a medical doctor, but this guy's got what I've seen that he went there, he laid in this thing. It's like a tanning bed, and he says he did. But anyway, they are selling these med bed sessions in Vegas. I can find out more about that and get that information for you. By the way, but I can't do it.
We've been following these med beds better than anybody, and we should keep up with it. I'd be happy to investigate if somebody's selling physical med bed sessions. It's interesting. And by the way, what's that Q book? The Storm is Upon Us, right? The Storm is Upon Us.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Q book. I think that's what it's called. I'll look it up. But The Storm is Upon Us. That's what it's called. Yeah. I'm going to share that. In that book, I ordered this book. I didn't get it yet, but somebody just told me that in that book is a whole section about medbed scams. It's in the book, The Storm is Upon Us, about how the medbed scams and the Q thing are all interrelated. And it's right-wing conspiracy nuts that started pushing these med beds as a real thing some time ago. So that's interesting. There's a connection to the Q garbage, amazing.
Yeah, I think what's happened is there is such a thing. They're using this term med bed, but I think that's kind of deceiving in a sense, because there are these things that exist that you can lay in that can have an effect on people, but the claims are being so grossly exaggerated. And you've got these two freaking yahoos from Australia. You just want to knock their teeth out. They're such liars. I'm serious. I can't stand these people.
Well, we don't advocate violence here, but
I said I want to. I didn't say to do it.
I understand, but we gotta be careful with that YouTube thing. But
all right, I take that back. I apologize.
Eric, I get pissed off when I see people marketing this kind of garbage to desperate, sick people, right? Because I can have sympathy and empathy, and I can put myself in somebody's place. Like, I've had people that were in my family that were suffering and dying a long, slow death from things like terminal cancer or other things. I can understand how somebody would be so desperate that they would try this. They would throw the money down and hope for the best, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're preying. That's who they're preying on. They are preying on people who are desperate and in some cases deathly ill.
It's totally wrong. I mean, we're taking it to a whole nother level. I mean, the sort of things that No Good and Wildcock were selling was on a level one below this level. Then when you start trying to take people's money that are sick, that's horrible. That's just horrible.
Yeah, and also what's important to realize too is that sometimes these people who are selling these medbed scams, they don't make the claims, but they rely on the Q community and other communities, the New Age community, to spread all these falsehoods about what these med beds are capable of doing. And then they just sell the session, but they don't say, in other words, like Pete and Roxy are not saying this will cure cancer, this will cure Alzheimer's. They're not saying that. So they think they can get away with this, but other people are running around. Thanks, Anthony from Unidentified S4. He sent me this. QAnon conspiracy theorists have a new cure-all, $120,000 TVs. For right-wing conspiracy theorists, few devices are more prized than a, quote, medbed, unquote, a mythical tanning bed-shaped appliance that promises to cure everything from cancer to Alzheimer's to old age itself. Someday soon, they think, Donald Trump will defeat the cabal that controls the world and release medbeds to the public, bringing on a new era free of illness. So this is what they're preying on. These people, there's stories all over the place that these things can cure cancer, these things can reverse aging, cure Alzheimer's disease, leukemia, terminal cancer. I've heard they basically cure everything. And so it's a complicated scam that they're running, because they can say, well, we don't say that it cures cancer, but the belief is out there that it does. And they're preying on people who may have heard that somewhere else, you know?
Yeah, it's sad. It's disgusting. I mean, God.
Yeah.
By the way, your Halloween outfit and your character last night was on point.
Yeah, that was fun.
I loved it.
Former big fan of his, aren't you?
Yeah. You know what's funny is I watched now, if I could say, all these people that I was trying to get him to have on his show. He would just blow me off like I was just some nobody that didn't know anything. And now, like even tonight, he's got a guest on who used to be the star of this show called The Invaders, which is actually a great show. If you go back and you can go back and watch this for free. And so I was doing clips about The Invaders like a year ago or 8 months ago when I was all into it. And I'm sure he was watching, and now he's got this guy on the show. But anyway, yeah.
What is that, science fiction? Invaders?
Yeah, science fiction. Yeah, it's about this guy who these aliens come, and I'll send you some clips. It's actually it's like a 1970s version of the X-Files, but it's only one guy. It's this guy Roy Fennis, who's there's no Scully. It's just Mulder.
I think I have seen something from this, but I'd like to binge watch the whole thing because I like weird science fiction.
There's like 10 seasons, bro. You trust me. Once you get going on this, it's well. See, the aliens in this particular series are humans. They're human looking.
Okay, you know what I got? I got a V box set from the original, the whole TV show, and they had miniseries. I think V had a TV show and a miniseries later. So I have a box set that has the entire V collection from my childhood from the 80s. I'm going to watch that someday. You know, that's a cool thing. V was fun. And that's where all the reptilian alien conspiracies come from, I think, because right after that, David Icke and all these people started with the reptilian alien conspiracies.
Hey, there's something wrong with the leadership of the world. I don't know what the hell it is exactly. If people want to call them reptilians just because they can't figure out what else to call them, but these people are messed up. I mean, come on, if you think about it. I mean,
I know, and that's why these kind of conspiracy theories work and make people money, because it's easy to believe there's something wrong with the world leaders, right? And they're all connected and they're all working together somehow, and you know. That's why this thing works.
So I'll get a hold of Raw. I won't be able to actually probably see him for about 3 weeks, but
what does he tell you? What does he tell you the device actually does? Does he say? Because he
hasn't really given me the
salad nonsense.
No, he hasn't given me the full rundown. He did. I remember we went hiking about 2 weeks ago when I was up there, and I did ask him some questions about it, and he didn't really get into details because we were kind of hiking up this hill up there.
But we can agree that it's a tanning bed with magnets glued in it, right?
It's more than magnets, so apparently he's
orgonite and magnets. That's what he glued in it. From what I've seen, I watched his Instagram for hours.
Okay, well, you know probably more than I do about it, but like I said, if he's got evidence that it's actually, I mean, I want to lay in thing. I told him I want to lay in it, and I consider him a friend. So
when are you going back to Sedona? Let's do this.
It'll be at least 3 or 4 weeks because I'm in Hot Springs, Arkansas right now.
All right. But when you go back, please contact him. And here's what we want you to do, because you could be a field reporter better than anybody. Go there. I know you're friends with him, and he's friendly to you. Yeah. And let him know, like, I don't wish him any ill will. We're just investigating this whole medbed thing from soup to nuts, all of it. The QAnon stuff, Simon Parks telling people quantum medbeds are coming, and we're investigating all of it. If there's anything to it, great. I want to know about it. So go there, lay in it, keep a journal. But part of me doesn't want you to do it, Eric, because we have no idea what these high-powered magnets are going to do to your brain. You could get your brain scrambled getting in that thing. You don't know.
Well, trust me, I'm going to do some homework before I get in the thing. I'm going to ask a lot more questions. I mean, I haven't really got into the deep dive on this like you have, but I do know Rob's he's with me, he's stand up. So he's not going to try to like bushwhack me or try to con me. He knows better than that. So whatever he's going to tell me, he's going to have to back up. So he's not going to exaggerate like some of these other people are. But again, I haven't seen it yet.
I'll tell you this. I watched enough of his Instagram and he's like a wild and strange, weirdo, interesting character that I can tell you this. If he lived near me, I would hang out with that guy because he's a weirdo artist and, I would hang out with him. I would get to know what the hell he's doing. I don't believe in organite or these organite pyramids he sells. I don't think they do anything measurable by science, but people believe it, Who
knows? We'll find out. He is very fun to hang out with. Very always interesting. Whatever he's doing, he's good at it. I'll just put it that way.
So just to be clear, so he starts building this thing, and Sarah R. Adams is already selling sessions in it before he's finished it.
Without his permission.
Wow, great.
Yeah, and then she tried to. There was some sort of thing where there was some sort of economic deal where she basically. I got the impression based on what he said that she was trying to take advantage of him and possibly other people. I haven't been able to actually verify it, but I did get that impression that that's what happened. And then they had a falling out after that because he wasn't happy about that. She was kind of her reputation and such. And he said to me, Eric, did you know all this about Sarah? And I said, well, yeah. And he goes, well, why didn't you tell me? He goes, well, you were friends with her. I wasn't going to just tell you all this stuff about Sarah because I didn't know for a fact any of it was true.
You remember, Eric, one time, and we can laugh about this now, but didn't you and I get in a big fight over her once? Because I said she was a scammer.
In the beginning,
no, she's one of the good people. She would never, no. But then
a couple years ago,
too. Yeah, you looked a little deeper and went, danger, Will Robinson, psychic scammer, It's great.
Oh yeah, it's sad that these people got to do that. I mean, Jesus. I mean, they don't want to get a job. They just want to. I mean, they're not.
Why should they? Sarah's bragging that she's buying brand new Mercedes SUVs and she's got all this money. I think she once posted like a post of just like cash laying out on a table or something, and bragged about how much money she makes and all this stuff. So I can see how people could fall into that. Money is just as intoxicating a drug as any other drug. You get a bunch of money, it makes you feel good, right? And maybe you can somehow use that money to absolve yourself of what you're doing to get it. That's the problem. They don't have a conscience. Like, I don't know, I have a soft heart, Eric. I would never, ever victimize a sick person. No, never.
Yeah. So, hey, I saw that you got that property, so we're going to set up a Sasquatch retreat up there.
We're going to have a Sasquatch research center on site, and I'm appointing you the head of it.
All right, you got it. Let's have a little conference up there. We'll invite some.
Eric. It is funny, and I swear to God, I'm not making this up. I'm in contact with a few different people, and I'm going to have a map, and I'm going to plot all of the Sasquatch sightings in that area. It's in the Pocono Mountains. You can look it up. Just look up Pocono Mountains Sasquatch sighting, and you're going to see there is Bigfoot all over that mountain. And
no, we're not talking beds here. We're talking Bigfoot, but this is wholly different.
I have a big chunk of that mountain.
I love it.
So
now listen, have you looked for the tree structures? I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes,
the tree.
And here's what I will tell you. I saw many, many downed trees, but I did not see any that were like connected. Like
no TPs, okay.
Yeah, no TPs. But I saw many, many downed trees. I will tell you this. I thought I saw a Bigfoot. On the way, I went to hike through. It's 4 miles from my cabin to that land if you take the road, but the road goes sort of around a ways, to get and back. But it's 2.5 miles through the state forest game lands. So I tried to hike it a few weeks ago from my cabin through the woods to get there, not taking the roads, just totally through the woods. And I got lost. I was running around in circles for a while because the GPS kept going out. The forest is real thick. And all of a sudden I see this black thing up ahead of me on the trail. And I thought it was a Bigfoot. It was a big bear, a big male bear. So I got down on my hands and knees. I noticed the wind was blowing this way and the bear was over there. So I knew I was downwind to the bear and he wouldn't notice. He didn't notice me. I just crouched down, let him walk off up the hill or whatever. And then I was still terrified. So I waited a good 10 minutes before I went on the other way that the bear was. There's a few bear stragglers still trying to get something to eat before they go to their big slumber. Lots of bears around there, but I didn't see a Bigfoot. I saw deer. I saw a bobcat, which is interesting. Those are rare sights, even in the mountains. I know there's bobcats there, but they avoid people, like really, really avoid people. They're smart. But I happened to be in the middle of the woods, miles and miles of woods, and I saw a bobcat. He just saw me and ran off. And good, because I don't want to get in a fist fight with a bobcat. But I haven't seen a Bigfoot yet, but I know there's sightings all over those mountains of Bigfoot.
Now, it snows up there in the winter, I assume?
Yes, yeah.
All right, well, that'll be good because that gives you an opportunity to see footprints. It's hard to see them, and when there's not snow on the ground, it's kind of difficult. Actually.
I have talked to some people who told me some stories, and there's a lot of local legends, and it's all in the Pocono Mountains. It's all connected to the Native Americans.
Yeah.
The native tribes that were in that area have their own words and stories about the Bigfoot or Sasquatch or whatever. They have a different word for it. I'll have to find out what that is. But there was tribes there. There's a lot of local legends of hairy man of the forest. And my cabin, I have a big Bigfoot on my door. I have a big face of a Bigfoot, like a metal. Somebody cut it out of metal. It's a big face of Sasquatch. It's on my door. A lot of people have those Bigfoot, like those big metal Bigfoot that you stake in your yard. It's like an 8-foot tall black shadow of a Bigfoot just walking in their yard, it looks like.
I just bought 2 of those here in Texas last week, by the way. You know what? I couldn't get them in my car, so I strapped them to the roof. So I'm driving down the freeway with these 2 giant metal Bigfoots on my roof. True story.
That is funny. That's really funny.
So yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I'll let you go. I know you got your show. I just wanted to call in and say that I'm feeling you on these people, man. They're disgusting, and I won't usually just jump in on people. They're disgusting.
No, you're always welcome, especially if you have something to share. And I know that this Arcturus Ra, and you knew Sarah for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah,
she wants me to come and visit her. After she hears this show, she'll probably tell me no, thank you.
Go. Here's what you're trying to do. You're gonna go, right? And then pull out your phone and say, show me the Stargates, Sarah. I have my phone ready because you're selling people courses on how to open Stargates. So you've got to be able to show me a Stargate so that I know you're not a scammer, Sarah. And see if she can show you a Stargate. I'll bet my house she can't show anybody a Stargate, though she's taking money to teach other people how to open Stargates, Sarah.
Yeah. Well, there is a story that I'll tell you real quick. I can't tell you the whole story right now, but there is a story that occurred here in Hot Springs, Arkansas recently. And this is a true story. And there's evidence of this story. And I've got video and so on and so forth. My friend Eric Mitchell, there's a guy that lives there. I can't say his name right now, but eventually it will probably come out. But he was filming UFOs out here. And apparently he got, at one point, his dad was with him. They were both filming these things, not just once, like on a regular basis. And apparently I put a video out just the other day. I'll send it to you again so you can see it. It's not super clear, but you can see this thing spinning in the sky and this kind of undulating. But anyway, this some sort of energy apparently came from this object, this light, and caused this guy to get very sick as it was happening. And then he went into the bathroom and got super sick, and he died. True story. And then there's nothing funny about that.
Wow.
It's all true. And so
and you were posting, what was this? You were posting some guy who was turning the street light on and off with his mind or something recently.
No, I don't think so. Not. Oh, yeah, that's Eric Mitchell. Yeah, and oh, by the way, so yeah, there's a follow up to that. So people were saying that we all. Okay, I'm not stupid. I know streetlights, they go bad. They just after a while they'll start to flicker, and then they go bad, and then they stop working. I mean, everybody knows that's how it works, right? So this particular streetlight, we were out there at the Sandia Mountain, which I've got another amazing story that I uncovered at the Sand. They got Bigfoot on the Sandia Mountain too, by the way. We found Bigfoot tree structures on the Sandia Mountain. We went up there looking for these orbs that this girl was filming in this little town called Placitas, New Mexico, which is right near.
Yeah, and by the way, that's why I love Eric, because for those that don't know, Eric will hear a story that happens 4 states away from wherever the hell he lives, right?
Yeah.
And Eric will hop in his car and go try to find these people and talk to them and investigate it. I'm telling you, you got to be our on-the-ground reporter, because, and then he goes to like every Bigfoot convention, every UFO convention, he's there. And I heard C.W. Chandler say this, and I agree with him. If there's 4 guys in the middle of like Nantucket, Iowa or something at a Denny's talking about UFOs, Eric hears about it and shows up.
You know, the whole UFO thing is, that's kind of on pause. I'm more looking for but here, check this out. This is something I'll be telling you more about in the future. But before the Zuni and before the Hopi Indian, there was an Indian group called the Mugione. They call it the Mugione Rim or the Mugione Mountain. It goes all the way from Arizona to New Mexico. I don't know if you've heard about it. That's the area where Travis Walton had his experience in the Snowflake, Arizona. And so there was this Indian tribe or group of people about 12,000 years, and I'm just paraphrasing right now, about 12,000 years ago. So there's this guy that was a archaeologist in the 40s. I think his name was Hibbern. I can't remember, but it was Hibb something or another. Anyway, so he went into this cave, and we found the cave, by the way. I've got pictures. I wasn't able to figure out how I could get into this cave because it was on the side of this mountain up about probably 50 feet. But anyway, inside this cave, he found remnants of a civilization that lived on Sandia Mountain. He says 25,000 years ago. Now, he doesn't say if they were humans or they were half-breeds or whatever. It doesn't say if they were Indians. He just says a civilization. And so that is how the name Sandia Mountain got its name, because they're called the Sandia people. So I'm doing a deep dive on that, and I'm trying to get more information about that so I can kind of verify that. But it is a true story. I mean, if you Googled it, the Sandia people, I spent 5 hours on the internet the other night trying to figure this story out. And then once I figured, and then check this out. So I did a Google Earth search on the Sandia Mountain in this area where Sue Walker, who's with the Ponte, that says she's speaking to the Ponte ET that are living in the mountain. You've heard that story, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so she says she showed me on her little Google Earth map, this is where they travel. And so I went up there and I realized that they're traveling on the backside of the mountain, apparently. And this is where this girl's been filming these lights. So you wouldn't see them if you were in Albuquerque because that's on the opposite side of the mountain. But and then on the opposite side of the mountain is where they've got the Kirtland Air Force Base, and they've got these underground tunnels, which I've got proof of that too, by the way. But anyway, so I'm on the Google Earth and I see this on the map about 10,000 feet up. It says the Rabbit Hole Medicine Shop. And I thought, what the heck is this? A rabbit hole medicine shop on the top of a mountain in the middle of the forest? So and they even had a website on there, but the website had no information. It was like, it was no longer in effect. So I said, let's just take a drive up there and see if we could find this place. So we did take a drive up there. We did find the location where this, it was only 2,000 feet off the road. And when we got up there, we found 3 obvious Bigfoot structures. And I posted some pictures on Twitter. And then we found this brand new Fiat lime green car that had been turned over upside down in the forest. This is no BS. Upside down in the forest, didn't come off the road. We couldn't figure out how this thing got there. We walked around for an hour trying to figure out how this car even got there because none of the trees around it were broken. None of the limbs were snapped.
I don't understand. This is some kind of medicine shop in the middle of a mountain?
But here's the deal, that we couldn't get to the medicine shop because going back to your story about the bears, we got about halfway up in this little ridge line where there was this pathway where we found the tree structures, and we found this this car there. And then we started seeing not Bigfoot. We saw bear prints in the snow, because there was a little bit of snow up there. And Eric says, you know what? These are fresh prints. We don't want to be going up in here because we don't have any bear spray or anything. He says these bears, it's not hibernation. They're not hibernating yet. So I agreed with them. We turned around and walked out of there, but we're going to go back.
Yeah, don't mess with bears.
Yeah, we're going to go back though, maybe in a month after they've, maybe they're in hibernation, and try to get to this spot where they, where there was a definite pathway. I mean, it was obvious that it had been traveled. Somebody has been walking up through there, whether it was a game path, but it was anyway. The mystery has not been solved yet, but we found some strange stuff up there, some strange stuff. So we'll see how that goes.
Chuck is here, and he wants you to look for Dogman. And John Williams says he lived in Mount Shasta City for a while, and he saw a UFO every day and night, and caves too. A lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, Shasta's a hot spot. That's actually, I was told when I went up there to the caverns, the Shasta Caverns, the lady that's the tour lady there, she's about 70 years old, and I'd heard a story about this tour guide that worked up there who saw Bigfoot when she had her tour group with him, and she freaked out and quit her job the next day. And so I asked the lady if that was a true story. She said, yes, absolutely, it's true. And I says, well, are they here? This was about a month ago, I would say, maybe a month and a half ago. She says, come back in February and March, and that's when people start reporting the Bigfoot. For whatever reason, here's what my impression is these guys, they kind of travel. They go from one spot to another spot, and they could be in 3 or 4.
Let's be very clear though, because I love Bigfoot, but I don't think I really think that there's a real physical Bigfoot out there.
Okay.
Do you really believe? You really believe?
I do believe it. Yes,
we can. Hey man, I hope it is real. I hope it is real.
I was in the I was in Falk, Arkansas this last weekend with the guy.
Which one of the camps are you in? Because there's a few camps, and some camps think that it is like a gorilla. It's like a primate, or
I think it could be both.
Some people are like, no, it's an interdimensional being. You just think it's a real physical animal?
No, I think it's possible that whatever. Let's just say this: there could be a Bigfoot type creature that's physical. That could be possible, or there could be another creature that's like a Bigfoot, but isn't actually the same Bigfoot that's physical, that's interdimensional. I mean, both could be true. I wouldn't put my money on any of this being 100% factual, but I've seen a lot of evidence, and I've seen pictures, really good pictures from people that have been researching a hell of a lot longer than me. And these are not scam pictures. I mean, one day I'll put a real good presentation together. Matter of fact, when I come to see you in Pennsylvania and we do our research talk, I'll have a great presentation. I'll turn you. I'll flip you on the Bigfoot.
Eric is supposed to come to the cabin along with C.W. Channer, and we're going to go look. We're going to go.
I love it. That would be a classic.
We're going to go look for Bigfoot.
We could record that whole meeting and make a documentary and sell it and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
We'll donate it to all the people that get scammed from these medbed Australian galactic whores.
Galactic whores. That's what I'm calling them. I'm calling them galactic whores from now on.
There you go. You got it.
They gotta go. They gotta, and it is true, Eric. They are galactic whores. Because
yes, I'm not joking. I'm totally
serious. If you
serious.
had access to an intergalactic spaceship, would the first thing you do be to start selling people tickets to that intergalactic spaceship? Because if you did, that would make you a galactic whore.
Yeah. I look at the couple, and I think the guy is the ringleader. He probably, and I'm just being silly right now, but he probably beats his wife and makes her stand on the stand there. It's
sell them med-bed sessions, you bitch. Sell some more med-bed sessions. We need money, bitch.
It's like Wilcock used to do with Beth when he kind of whispered to her, say some shit. It's the same thing with her. It's just smile and just say what I tell you to. Because that guy looks psycho, man. When you look at him, he looks psycho to me.
His eyes are like...
he makes me nervous, actually.
Yeah, he's got that cult look in his eye. Like he's just completely out there bonkers, right? Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. I'm going to follow up with Australian authorities, and I want somebody to explain to me how any of this is allowed to, how they're allowed to do this.
Oh, shit. My cat must have got up. Yeah, so we're staying at this place in the woods. I can hear a cat out there. I don't know if my cat got out or something.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't want to.
No worries. It's all good. Hey, I got to run. I got to go find my cat. He must have somehow snuck
Okay.
out the
All
door.
right. Well,
But hey,
thanks
good
for
talking to you, buddy.
popping in, and you pop in again sometime, or
All
we'll
right, buddy.
schedule
Take care.
it.
Have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye. So there's Eric providing some of his insight into the galactic med beds. And what we're going to do now is I will take comments and questions from the live chat. We're going to catch up and with the super chats. I wanted to mention that we read every single super chat. And last night, someone sent a super chat after we were already just about off air. So we want to make sure that we read that one now and thank them for their kindness, their generosity, and support, as we do all people who send us a super chat. It was Dank yesterday who sent a $5 super chat, and he said, "Don't let anyone or anything compartmentalized fact and truth." Thank you, Dank, for your kindness, generosity, and support. And now's a good time for me to remind you that there's a few ways that you can support our show. The first way here is to throw some money at us. And there's a super chat button. You can send a PayPal pledge or Cash App pledge. You can also become a Patreon supporter, or you could become a channel member. Patreon and channel members get the same benefits. The Patreon is $1 or more a month, and the channel membership is $5 or more a month. But here's the deal. On Patreon, you get a bunch of extra goodies, extra videos, early access to some videos before they're uploaded here, and a behind-the-scenes show journal every single month. We put those same links on the channel membership here in the community section for members. But if you become a YouTube channel member, you also get a bunch of extra goodies. You see these people with these channel badges, letting people know that they support the show. I'm a terrible salesperson. That's the best I could do, begging for money or pitching for money. And all the funds go back into the show or to our efforts here. The other way that you could support us, and it's just as important, is to like, comment, subscribe, and share these videos. It's very, very important. Something about having a bunch of links to the show out there, Google rises us in the search engine somehow. And isn't it funny that I have a computer science background and I don't even understand how the algos work, but I know that it works. If people like, comment, subscribe, and share, we do better. So it's not always about money. Another way to support us is to just share these videos on your social media, retweet. You could follow me at Stephen Cambion on Twitter, and you will know when we're doing a show, or you could retweet the show. That really does help as well. So then more people see us, more people hear about us, and that very, very much helps, right? John Williams says, "Bless your family, support on the way." Yeah, that'd be great, especially coming from one of the richest families in the world to mine, right? John Williams, friends, thanks for your content. Well, thanks for being here. We really do appreciate you, John. And I happened to hear John on Dark Journalist recently, and what a great interview that was. John's trying to figure out the total picture, which I have to admire and respect, because I don't have the brain space for all of it, but he's trying to figure out all of it. And he will listen to and talk to everyone, including a lot of the secret space people. But he had a fascinating conversation with Dark Journalist recently that I was kind of jealous of. I'm like, damn, I should have asked him some of those questions and got some of those stories out of him. But maybe he'll be coming back soon. He is quite possibly one of our most requested guests. People ask me all the time when he's coming back. And I did mention that he sent my children a bunch of astronaut ice cream, and that was a whole comedy here, because they figured out how to get in the pantry just to get to the astronaut ice cream and stuff. Two brothers, it's like Pinky and the Brain, right? And they worked together. Like the one wasn't tall enough even on a chair to reach the top shelf, so he got his big brother to get on the chair and get it down, and it was funny. And some of the stuff at the cabin, I think of John. I burnt myself terribly once, and John had sent me a med kit for the cabin. And I was so happy because it was a real miserable, terrible burn that I touched a wood stove. I leaned against the wood stove like an idiot. Like I bent over to pick something up, and I put my hand right on the top of a hot wood stove, and I got blisters, maybe second-degree burns. I don't know, but I went in there to that med kit, and there was burn cream and a whole, like the bandages. So I bandaged it up, and in 2 days, I don't know what kind of burn cream that was, but in 2 days, it felt almost normal again. It was great. So we're going to take comments and questions from the live chat. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong John. I apologize. Oh, okay. I thought it was John Williams Warner. I apologize then. Yeah, now I know. Okay, different John Williams, but thank you, John Williams, for your kindness, generosity, and support. All right. So questions or comments for me, please put them in all capital letters. People are talking about a certain goof, which is funny. And, I don't want to say too much, but here's what I'll say. Some dummy show host is running around now telling people that he has magic powers and he's able to curse people. And last night on his show, he claimed that he was cursing people, but all he did was pull a tarot card for people he doesn't like, and he called that a curse. I'm very familiar with tarot cards. That's not how this works. You can't curse somebody by pulling a tarot card for them. But this guy who claims to be one of the most powerful people in the universe, by the way, I'm here to remind you that if you live in a trailer in your mom's backyard, you're not a powerful person. I mean, that's just my opinion, but I'm entitled to it. And this guy who claims he has magic powers all of a sudden, and he's able to curse people. And we talked about it last night on the show. I agree with Kate. I'm very familiar with ceremonial magic and witchcraft and all manner of occult workings. It is not advisable to ever do any magical spells that will harm someone. There's something called the threefold law in Wicca or witchcraft, which essentially says that if you cast a spell to do harm on someone, it may work, but it will come back to you 3 times. All the spells will come back to you 3 times. So in other words, if you cast a good luck or a healing spell on somebody, then that energy will come back to you 3 times. If you cast a negative spell, or what most people would characterize as black magic spell against somebody, and certainly a curse would be included in the black magic spell, a curse would be included as something you would call black magic. If you do black magic against somebody, it'll come back to you 3 times. So, and anybody who's actually educated in the magical arts, we'll call them, or the occult, would know that. So is this guy bluffing again, telling everybody he's one of the most powerful people in the universe and he's cursing people, but he doesn't know how basic magic theory even works? And, one might ask themselves how stupid it is to, I realize that magic, stage magic, entertainment stage magic, and so-called real magic is 2 entirely different things, but there's always some crossover. Every professional magician that I knew also had usually had an extensive knowledge and library of ceremonial magic, if for nothing else than to draw inspiration from. So for some joker on the internet to decide that he's going to curse me, does he have any idea how many books? I have an entire bookshelf that goes the entire length of this huge basement of this huge monstrous house we have here. And there's a whole section on ceremonial magic, witchcraft. In fact, not long ago, I just pulled out and was reading one of my favorite books on magic, and it's called Mastering Witchcraft by Paul Hewson. Look it up. It's a great book, and it covers the fundamentals of casting spells, and it includes those warnings about black magic. So for this joker to just off the cuff tell people, I'm going to curse these people. First of all, you're an idiot if you would publicly curse people. Second of all, this is not how this works. He told everybody he was going to curse us, and he's powerful. He's one of the most powerful people in the universe. And again, I'm sorry, but powerful people don't live in their mom's backyard. That's just not how this works either. I mean, I guess I would consider myself a powerful person, creatively, artistically, in other ways, but I don't live in my mom's backyard. I've accomplished things. And so this Joker clown tells everybody, and this is clickbait. He's so desperate to get people to tune into his shitty show that he's got to pull stunts like this constantly. I'm going to curse people live on my show. Great. And everybody tunes in to see what the hell he's going to do. And he gets out a tarot deck and he pulls a tarot card out for each person that he's claiming that he's cursing. And I think it was Gorilla Gamer, Anthony from S4, and me. And somebody sent me the clip, and I'm watching this and I'm going, what is he doing? This isn't a curse. This is doing an unauthorized, unacknowledged, unasked for tarot reading for somebody. He pulled one tarot card for each of us. And by the way, I think he did a terrible job and pre-selected the cards. Long story. But he pulls these tarot cards and then he reads what the tarot card means out of a book. So this powerful wizard who's going to curse me isn't even smart enough or able enough to know the meaning of the tarot cards by mind and by heart. And I don't know if he's aware or you all are aware, but I can read a tarot deck without a book. And you just got to sit back and watch this and go, this super powerful individual who's one of the most powerful people in the universe, who's now claiming that he has magical powers somehow, can't read a tarot card by heart. He has to read the meaning of the tarot cards from a book. And I would just submit to you that anybody who is familiar with the occult or tarot cards doesn't need a book. That's my opinion, and that's my experience with people. I can think of a few examples. Pragmagic, who is an often, he's here. He can read tarot cards with no book. C.W. Channer can read people's tarot cards with no book, and he knows all the meanings. I can do it, but I would admit that I'm not fantastic at it, but I know the meanings without a book. This super powerful wizard who's telling everybody he has superpowers right now, and he can curse people. And by the way, he's bragging that he cursed people and somebody died, or he cursed people and somebody got in a car accident. That's not something to be proud of. That's something to be ashamed of. If you're claiming that you did that with your magic powers, right? I'm going to call him Dr. Strange Goof, because now he's running around telling people he has superpowers. So he pulls tarot cards for each person, reads the meaning of the tarot card, and then he says that he cursed us. Again, he's an idiot. That's not how magic works, bro. That's not how any of this works. You can't curse somebody by just reading a tarot card for each person. And while we're on that subject, he also is so naive about magical workings or occult workings that he's running around telling people that he's cursing people with tarot cards. He didn't ask permission of any of those people to read their tarot cards. So there's a whole bunch of articles on the internet asking the question, is it ethical to read someone's tarot cards without their knowledge or permission? And the answer from most people who are into tarot cards would be yes. It's not ethical to read someone's tarot cards without their knowledge or permission. I did it one time and I regret doing it. Also, it's important to note that that's called third-party reading. He doesn't even know what he's doing. So is it wrong to perform a reading on someone without that person's knowledge or permission, also called third-party reading? Well, according to most articles on the internet and most experts, every tarot card reader must define their own ethical boundaries. However, most would agree that it is not ethical to do that. And as for me, I would not read someone's tarot cards without their knowledge, consent, or permission. I just would not do that. And most tarot card readers would not do that. And also ask any tarot card person. In most cases, when you read someone's cards without their knowledge or consent or permission or their input, this will result in wildly inaccurate conclusions. In other words, you can read someone's tarot cards without their knowledge, consent, or permission, but the reading is not going to be accurate at all. At all. So this dummy goes on a public live stream like an idiot and tells people, I'm Dr. Strange Goof and I can curse people. I have magic powers. And then he pulls tarot cards for each of the people he wants to curse, which he doesn't ask permission to do. Nobody consented to that. So even the predictions, if you were to believe in the tarot, even the predictions or the meanings of the card that he pulled for each person is completely and totally inaccurate because he didn't ask our consent to do that. We didn't consent to that. So here's Dr. Strange Goof telling everybody he has magical powers, and he doesn't understand even the most fundamental basics of the things that he is messing with. And I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I happen to have a literal library of occult references that I can draw from. So if some joker on the internet wants to use those forces, some kind of dark magic forces against me, I'm not concerned and I'm not worried because I have an actual knowledge of these things. And he is some LARPer idiot, Dr. Strange Goof, running around telling people he has magic powers and he can curse people. I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. I will not give it the least little bit of thought. And by the way, this guy's so dumb that he pulls a Wheel of Fortune card for me. Then he gives the book reading and basically says that my finances and everything are going to be diminished and, I'm going to hit rock bottom, right? Because that's what he wishes on me, because he's a broke ass loser living in his mom's backyard. And I'm not. Oh, I'm doing great financially, Rich. I'm doing so well, in fact, that I just bought a forest. I bought a goddamn forest. And you, Dr. Strange Goof, are running around telling people that you're cursing me and that I'm going to have problems financially. First of all, that couldn't happen, really, because my wife is an accountant. She's very, very, very smart with money. We've made many, many wise decisions with our money over the course of our 20-plus year relationship. We're good. And you're living in your mom's backyard in a goddamn trailer telling people you have superpowers, you dumbass. But if that's what he has to do to make himself feel better about himself, and again, I think it was Kate Schneider on last night's show that said all of this is coming from his ego. It's not coming from a good place. So, that's all I have to say about it. People sent me messages like, Stephen, Gufon is saying he has magic powers and he cursed you on last night's show. And then I view the clip, and when I stopped laughing, I just shook my head because he does not have the least. He has not a clue about how this shit works. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of things in my life I'm worried about, but am I worried about a curse from some guy who's using tarot cards to curse people? That's not a thing. That's not how this works, you dummy. That's not how any of this works, Dr. Strange Goof, with your magic superpowers, right? And by the way, I will track my finances for the next month, and if his so-called prediction about me is accurate, I'll tell everybody the truth. But am I worried? No, because I'm a winner and he's a loser. And that's the way it's going to be. And that's the way it's going to be. Nobody, with a deck of tarot cards is going to affect my financial future. It's just not going to happen. Now, I will say this. I have known some people who are lifelong studiers or practitioners of the occult. And if one of those kind of very incredibly knowledgeable people in the occult said they were going to curse me and and did, I would be concerned. But am I concerned about some Dr. Strange goof living in his mom's backyard in a trailer, telling everybody he's one of the most powerful people in the universe, cursing me with a deck of tarot cards he got from Five Below with an included book? No. No, I'm not concerned at all. I laughed. I thought this is the funniest shit I've seen ever. But remember, this was all clickbait garbage to get people to watch his shit show. And, that's what he has to do. Sorry for him, not sorry for me, And I love how he's so focused on numbers. I don't really, do I look at them? Sure. Am I happier when there's, more people here? Sure. But I'm not in competition with him. I don't care about what his or mine are, really. He's telling everybody he's trying to have more subscribers or more viewers. No, I don't give a shit. And here's another thing. He is now relegated to the trash bin of ufology. He's in the trash bin of ufology. He's in the trash bin along with Third Phase of Moon and people like Linda Moulton Howe and people like Corey Good and David Wilcock. He's in the same category as the people we covered tonight, these medbed scammers. He is in the trash bin of conspiracy land as far as his credibility goes. And I think a lot of this animosity that he has is because I have a good reputation for doing things the right way, the moral way, the ethical way. You're not going to find me faking, spirit orbs. You're not going to find me faking, taking a picture, a forced perspective picture of a freaking security dome camera, right? And claiming that it's a UFO. By the way, I got to share this again just because it's funny as hell. Wasn't a real UFO. And but does it surprise me that he would try to fake something so silly? No, look at some of the stuff that his bosses, Third Phase of Moon, tried to fake. It doesn't surprise me at all. So, he can go off on his little tiff and, he's going to curse me, and look, by the way, if you're going to do it, do it right. Like, if I was going to put a public show where I cursed someone on my show here, dude, I would go out in the frickin' woods in a bear skin with ceremonial knives and torches and bonfires all around me and magical symbols everywhere. No, he didn't even do it well. He's like, look, I got these tarot cards from Five Below, and I'm going to curse these sons of bitches with it. Like, this is so stupid. We have reached a point of stupidity with this dumbass. And now he's got superpowers in addition to all of his other claims. By the way, here's another one of his claims. He claims that he did 20,000 hours of sky watching. And we're going to get my calculator out because, believe it or not, I need one. 20,000 hours of sky watching is that a lot, right? And if we're gonna do the math, we're gonna do the math on the sky watching claims. because here's my point. I don't care if audiences want to watch somebody that lies to them constantly, and apparently they do, because you notice all the people that lie constantly to everyone do better with views and whatever. So maybe that's his goal. Like, if I just keep lying to people, the bigger the better the lies, kind of like David Wilcock, right? The bigger the better the lies, the more viewers, right? That's what he thinks, I guess. But like, this is what I don't understand. So if we do the math and we say he does 20,000 hours of sky watching, so we take 20,000 and then we divide that by 8 hours. Let's just say he does it for 8 hours. That would be 2,500 days. Divided by 365. That would mean that every day for 8 hours for almost 7 years, he sat and watched the sky. Really? Really, Rich? You watched the sky for 8 hours for 6 years straight every single day with no days off? Or even 4 years, 4 hours a day for 12 years straight, you watched the sky? I mean, okay, if you're going to claim that you did that, I think that you would have massive amount of data to share. Where's the data, Rich? Where's the data? Or are you just making all this shit up? And by the way, I have some information about that time you got on TV. Remember that? Yeah. Oh, shit, that was probably fake, wasn't it, Rich? I'm not going to argue with Dr. Strange goof. So I'm not worried about a guy who thinks he can curse me with tarot cards, who's telling people he has magic powers, right? All right. Goofon watches the sky when his mom bashes him and knocks him out for not paying the rent. Yeah, could be, right? He's not even given a P900. He's got given a P900. He hasn't used it to skywatch his new location. He could stream it on live even. Well, he's lazy. He wakes up 15 minutes before a show and, just looks on Twitter to decide what he's talking about. And I always love that he barely talks about anything in his show title. He's not prepared. He's like, I said it before, Elter Channel. Everybody remembers this. There was always a kid who didn't read the book that tried to bluff his way through the book report. That's Rich. He's trying to bluff his way through this third phase thing. Oh, they never hoaxed anything. Now he's denying he ever said that. There's multiple references, clips all over of him saying they never hoaxed anything. Then he goes 5 years. Now he's saying nobody proved anything. Nobody proved anything. What do I got to do? Do I got to get in a time machine and film Blake and Brent Cousins faking the helicopter thing? You are an idiot if you don't believe that they faked that helicopter thing in 2019 with the camera. Yes, they did. There just so happens to be a helicopter there at the exact time and date that they're filming this mysterious orb flying in the sky. You can just so happen to hear the helicopter noise. No, he got punked by them. They lied to him and he believed it because he wanted to. Dummy. He deserves everything. He made his bed though, He's the space lord with the superpowers now. He's got, magic powers. We should differentiate. The Grand Wizard of Florida, who can't even read tarot cards, is going to curse me. Jesus Christ, I better get a wizard myself in here. We better contact some experts in magical workings, because I have a warlock out to this whole thing is so stupid. He used tarot cards to curse me. That's not how it works. But let him think he has superpowers or magic powers. Let him think that he's one of the most powerful people in the universe. I know powerful people. I know wealthy people. None of them live in their mom's backyard in a trailer and don't have shit. None of them need to go do the super chat shuffle and beg for money to exist, right? They all have money independently of whatever else they're doing. And I do, you know, but what are we going to do? The trailer park warlock. Yes. He's the trailer park warlock. Yeah. Yeah. So any more comments or questions for me, please put them in all capital letters. Otherwise, we are going to bounce on out of here. We'll call this for tonight. It's a quick one. Somebody commented that I stayed in that mass for 5 hours, and they're not exactly right. We took a 4-minute break, and I got it off for 3 minutes of that 4-minute break. And then I put it back on for another hour or something. I don't remember the time, but yeah, 5 hours in that thing. If you missed it, boy, that sure descended into chaos at the end. Kate Schneider got in an argument with PBR Street Gang over whether Twitter was changing or not. And by the way, Kate Schneider, they just started fact-checking Biden. So things did change on Google, but it probably, put me in a bad situation because I agreed with both of them. Kate's point was, code doesn't work that fast. You can't change the code of Twitter to make all these changes happen in a couple of days. Kate's exactly right. But what happened apparently is that Elon Musk fired a whole bunch of the people that were censors. And then for some reason, people are fact-checking Biden now. They're fact-checking Biden on Twitter. And that's the first time in his 2-year plus presidency now, I think it's 2 years he's been president, that he was ever fact-checked. And just to be clear, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. I think they're all criminals. But it's important to note that from the day that Donald Trump announced his candidacy for president, they fact-checked him. Every day Donald Trump was president, they fact-checked him. Joe Biden, they just started fact-checking him. And if you believe in a free and open democracy, then I think you will agree with me that both sides need to be fact-checked. Not just one, and we can't put our thumbs on the scale of the people we like and, ban all the people we don't like. Now, I agree that some of the disinformation is ridiculous and should be curated, like the Q nonsense or the medbed nonsense. But when you get to a situation where a private company and the government are colluding together to step all over people's free speech, that's a problem for me. And it should be a problem for you. What's that saying? I don't agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. It doesn't bother me if somebody posts something political that I disagree with, because I'm really, really neutral. Everybody knows this. I say it all the time. I think both sides are criminals. And you people that have chosen a side don't get extra credit for choosing who you feel is the lesser of the two sides of criminals, But I am a firm believer in free speech, the Second Amendment, and all of our freedoms here in the United States. And we cannot let them encroach on these freedoms, either side. And even if, I totally do not agree that the left side of the aisle should be able to censor the right side of the aisle, or that the left should be able to have stories that paint them in a bad light suppressed on social media sites so that they could win an election. That was very troubling. They censored that Hunter Biden story, and it could have swung the election if that information was allowed to be freely shared. It wasn't. All of this is very complicated, but it's enough to say that I'm happy that Joe Biden is getting fact-checked. And to be clear, I was happy when Donald Trump said something wacky and got fact-checked. Just because they're the president doesn't mean they don't lie. They're politicians. All politicians lie. It's good to have somebody there say, "Excuse me, Mr. Politician, that's a lie," right? But I do see that members of the left and left-leaning people on Twitter are losing their minds because, oh my God, they fact-checked the president. Yeah, it's the first time in 2 years, to my knowledge. It's the first time in 2 years they fact-checked him. He said a lot of wacky shit in the past 2 years that nobody fact-checked. They just let him say it. That's not fair. That's not a free and open democracy. Not if you're going to do it only to one side. And again, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I have my own personal beliefs. On some things, I'm very liberal. On some things, I'm very conservative. On some things, I'm very libertarian. I think that our crappy two-party system is totally a mess. We don't need a third party. We need a third, fourth, fifth, and sixth party. That's what we need. We need more political parties, but every time a party pops up that may have a chance, the Republicans and Democrats get together to stamp them out. They don't want another option. It's not healthy. I don't think our forefathers envisioned just, and besides, do you really truly belong in just the left camp or just the right camp? Or like most reasonable, sane, and rational people, are you like me, that some things you're very liberal on? Like I'm very liberal on gay marriage and people's rights, I would never tell gay people they couldn't get married. So that must mean I can't be a Republican, because Republicans, largely, a lot of them, especially the super conservative ones, say, no, marriage is between a man and a woman and this and that. And they let religion get into it. No. So I'm very liberal on some things. And then I'm also very conservative on some things like spending and taxation. I believe taxation is theft. And the whole situation is ridiculous with all the spending. We spend huge amounts of money on retarded things, pardon that word, on stupid things. I believe in as small a government as humanly possible. And the government should only be there to do things that people cannot do individually, like build roads and bridges and defend us in the event of an invasion, but not this huge military that we have with bases all over the world for no reason. But anyway, this is why we don't talk about politics here. All right, so any questions or comments, please put them in all capital letters. Left has gone too far left. That's what a lot of people think. There are gay Republicans and recognized by the party. You're right. I'm probably well behind in politics because I don't keep up. Anytime somebody's talking politics and I'm watching it, I turn it off or I turn it to something else. But I am somewhat interested in politics in some ways. I watched that Oz debate with this Fetterman fellow who, God bless him, but he had a stroke. That man is not qualified to work at McDonald's, let alone be a senator. He cannot currently understand human speech. I don't want somebody with that kind of current disability representing my family in my state. That's my personal opinion, and I'm entitled to it. Oz is not much better, but at least he can understand human speech, So, and by the way, I'm not even registered to vote, and I won't be voting. I talked to a friend today who works for the Republican committee or something, and I didn't register to vote in time. So even if I wanted to vote in the midterms, I couldn't, because when I moved from Philadelphia, I never registered to vote here. I don't care. Generally, I don't care. Well, that's weird. I'm having lockups. Let me see if I can't close some things and fix that, friends. It's the curse. It's come to get my stream, friends. The curse of Dr. Strange Goof. No. Okay, yeah, we're fine. I just had tons of stuff open, and that's never good. I always forget when I'm doing a stream to shut down, my computer looks like my brain, right? I've got ADD, so I've got all these things open at once, right? Bounce back and forth. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that Fetterman's going to win, and then he's going to step down, and the governor is going to appoint his wife to do the job, which, that's not fair. That's not what people are voting for. But that's the rumor going around Pennsylvania, that that's what's going to happen. Yeah, Kepsta says, oh, what a lose-lose situation the Fetterman Oz thing is for the people. Yeah, Kate Schneider says the curse is revealing itself. Well, he said that I was going to take an economic downturn and hit rock bottom or something. Not that my stream would be a little wonky once, Kate. But I got plans to make, Kate, because you know what I ought to do? I ought to actually do this. I ought to go and live stream a protection spell, Kate Schneider, just to be. I think it would be funny, and I'll show him the way things really work. Right? Mike says better than a scammer doctor. Well, I don't know about that. I'm glad I'm not voting. I'm glad I can't vote because now, no matter who gets in, I could say this is your fault. You people voted for this man, not me. Right? George Carlin had this bit where people said, well, if you don't vote, you can't complain. The hell I can't. I didn't vote either of these clowns in. You did. So hell yeah, I can complain and I can blame everybody else. That's what I do. That's what I did with the presidential elections. That's what I do with the senatorial elections, right? If that's true, people must collect signatures to take that wife down. Yeah, politics is a shady business, right? And here is the thing, too. We get to choose between Dr. Oz, who, by the way, never lived in Pennsylvania until recently, Like he moved in with his parents and then instantly decided he was going to be the senator from Pennsylvania. Never lived here before. No, I don't think you should be allowed to do that. But Hillary Clinton did it in New York and other people have done it. The law allows it. And then we have to choose between this other guy and Oz, who had a stroke and can't understand human speech at the moment. Right? Yes, Mike. Need better working class people to represent. Well, that's the other reason I have a problem with this Fetterman guy. It's because he pretends to be a working class guy, but he's from a rich family and he didn't have a job until he was 40. His parents just gave him like $100,000 a year or something. That's crazy. And he acts like he's pro-union and he's for the working man. No, he's not a working man. He's a trust fund kid pretending to be a working man, right? Shogun says, congratulations on your continued sobriety. Yeah, I gotta count it up, but I think we're past 150 days here. I'm going to count it up after the show and see, right? Mark Hovspan, a man after my own heart. I met Ricky J, actually, Mark, at a magic event convention sort of thing. Goofon committed assault with tarot cards, as Ricky J would say. Cards are weapons. Yeah. He's got magic powers, Mark. I'm really concerned because he's got magic powers, right? Disabled people suffer the most. Space exposure. I don't do politics. This is the most I've ever talked about politics on my show ever. Probably will. I'm gonna, and by the way, I support both. I support everybody who's really passionate. I'm kind of jealous of those people who pick the side and they're really passionate about their side being better. Because I don't know, I've been standing on the middle of that line for my whole life going, neither side is better. They're both criminals, And it's like I said, it's a matter of choosing who's the lesser of the criminals. Look at the last, not the last presidential election, but how about the Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump presidential election? We had to choose between two criminals, essentially. I believe that was the choice. And you had to choose who's going to be the better criminal to run our country, who's the least criminal person or with the least criminal baggage or done the least criminal things. I don't understand how the rich and powerful elite people think that people don't see through the facade, right? That this is just, we don't have choice. We have an illusion of choice between criminals. My flock is everywhere, says Stephen. Congratulations. Keep on keeping on. Yeah, I'm going to keep it going, right? Goofon summoned the lizard squad. Well, you better shut up. He's got magic powers, Rugged Source. He's going to curse you next with his magic powers. He's a powerful, Wizard. They're all lizards. Well, according to David Icke, that could be, that's accurate, right? Yeah. Who makes sense when speaking the English language should be a requirement. Listen, though, I had a brain aneurysm, which is a lot like a stroke, or it's similar to a stroke. And after I had the brain aneurysm, I was in the hospital for a long time, and I couldn't do anything right. I didn't have a problem with my speech or my memory, but I had a problem with physical things. Like, it was almost like I forgot how to walk. It was weird. It was a weird experience. So I have a lot of sympathy and empathy for anybody that has a stroke, because it's worse. If you have the stroke, you got to relearn how to speak, relearn how to listen, relearn how to understand human language in some cases. It's weird how that works. So I have a lot of sympathy and empathy for him, but I truly believe that somebody in his family should have got him aside and said, this isn't your time. Go off, rest, recuperate, try again in 2 years if you're really passionate about doing this, being a senator thing, but now is not your time. His wife let him go on statewide television and look foolish, absolutely foolish, right? I felt terrible for him. I turned it off after a half hour. I couldn't watch any more of it. I felt terrible for that guy. Dr. Oz said he never had a Big Mac. Trying to think. I may have once had a Big Mac, but Big Mac was never my preference at McDonald's. I always wanted a quarter pounder or a double cheeseburger. So I may have eaten a Big Mac myself, but I thought it was too much bread. I always thought, oh, it's too much bread. Why do I want bread in the middle? No, But I think I may have eaten a Big Mac when somebody just bought a bunch of Big Macs and that was the only choice available, right? Not a fan of Big Macs. Yeah, Chuck Bam says he opened with good night, right? Yeah. And that's a shame that he's disabled, but I don't think he's qualified to run to be a senator. If he can't understand human speech without technological help or whatever, and hey, I'm all for disabled people. They should be able to do that, but I think that he has a much better shot at doing this a few years from now when he is fully recovered. Like, apparently all that's supposed to come back to him eventually. But it's a sad situation that we have to choose between him and Dr. Oz, who's very problematic. Yeah. Dank says Fetterman is a boss. He's basically rubbing dirt in a wound and walking it off. Yeah, well, I think most of the polls, Dank, after that horrific debate, are all saying that Oz is going to win now. So now we've got a TV doctor as our senator. Great. Great. So that's all we got for you, friends. I'm going to bounce on out of here, but we'll be back tomorrow night, and we're going to do a fun one tomorrow night. Have you ever heard of this Florida man conspiracy? Like Florida man masturbates in playground in front of children. Florida man defecates at City Hall. Florida man does this. Florida man does that. It's a whole conspiracy in and of itself. Florida man. And we're going to have Gorilla Gamer here tomorrow night and 9 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to be talking about this Florida man thing because I want to know why there's so many stories. He may be able to shed some light on this. And we're going to share a ton of funny Florida man stories. I don't know why there's so many. I've tried to look up other states, and there isn't nearly as many in other states. I tried Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey. Nowhere near the number of stories. But somehow, when you Google Florida man, you get all these crazy stories. It's a whole conspiracy in and of itself. And I love exploring those strange things. Like, why is that a thing? I don't know why that's not a thing, right? And Sheila Aliens is here. Yeah. Sheila is going to be here Thursday, and we're going to be talking about, can you be a skeptic and a believer at the same time? And I'll get both those streams posted. Both, again, are going to be 9 p.m. Eastern time. So we've got Wednesday filled tomorrow with Gorilla Gamer. And then we've got Thursday filled with Sheila Aliens. And I've got one more surprise for the week. We're going to try to jam in there somewhere, probably Friday afternoon. And yeah, you don't want to miss Sheila Aliens. She sent me the picture for the thumbnail, but we haven't gotten the thumbnail done yet. I'll have those posted as soon as we have the thumbnails for them. So that's all I got for you, friends. Please do join us tomorrow night at 9 p.m. and Thursday night at 9 p.m. Maybe I'll be doing some spell casting of my own, since I'm so concerned with getting cursed by a man who thinks you can curse people with tarot cards from Five Below. Man, what a grand and powerful wizard. Shaking in my boots. All right, that's all I got for you, friends. Until next time, I'm Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you.